It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
It is early on a Monday morning. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. Love being here to kick the week off. What are we talking about? Well, I don't think I have a lot of time because my day's about to get started with kiddos coming down and school and work and all that stuff. So I think I've got two things for you, and we're just going to hammer them out real quick. The second one is about knives. So if you are into that, we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to start off by saying what an awesome thing this weekend to see the head coach of the Gonzaga Bulldogs, Mark Few, celebrated by getting inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Right? This isn't a College Basketball Hall of Fame, West Coast Basketball Hall of Fame, Gonzaga Basketball Hall of Fame. This is the Basketball Hall of Fame, where Amari Stoudemire, Mike D'Antoni, and Candace freaking Parker were inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Coach Few, with his 773 wins and 156 losses, winning at a clip of 83%. My guy as a head coach has never missed the NCAA tournament. An insane statistic. It's like there's so many like great Coach Few stats that people throw out there, and number of tournament wins and that winning percentage that I gave you earlier. NBA players sent to the NBA, a lot of crazy mid-major statistics for what he's done at Gonzaga. I love all of them because I love Fewy, so I love all of them. But the only one that really I care about all of them. Who am I kidding? The fact that this guy came into Gonzaga after a Cinderella year, a mid-major, a Cinderella year, and then said, you know what? Let's actually just do this every year. And now Gonzaga's in the Pac-12. I'm going to say that's a major conference. This man took a mid-major to the NCAA tournament as a contender every single year he was the head coach. That is stupid, okay? No one else did it. It's at the point where you go, I don't think any other coach has done this. I would need to look back. Maybe it would be like a John Wooden, right? Cal missed for a season. I think Krzyzewski, I think Duke missed for a season, missed the NCAA tournament for a season in the 2000s. I forget what year that was, but they missed it. The Coach Few as a head coach has never missed the NCAA tournament, and he did it from the mid-major spot. So you look at great mid-majors. One of the greatest mid-majors that is not Gonzaga in the 2000s is going to be Butler, because they went to the NCAA championship game, and they were a back rim three-pointer by Gordon Hayward away from winning the national championship. It would have been insane. And they were like red hot for 3 years, right? Brad Stevens had them there for 3 years. And then does Butler still play basketball? I actually don't know. Someone can Google that. I haven't heard of Butler basketball in a while. Mark Few is like every year, and it gets to the point, and if you're from Spokane and you're a Gonzaga fan or you're around it, it was to the stupidest thing where people are like, for years, for like 7 years, they're like, well, he can't win the big one, and he's never won a national championship. Okay. Hey guys, one team wins the national championship every year, and it's not just an easy thing. And I would love it if Fewy got one. And I think they would have won the COVID year. Let's just be real. They were going to win the COVID year. Gonzaga was the best team in college basketball. They were going to go in there and they were just going to. Killian Tilly was going to have 50,000 3-pointers in a row. Kispert was on that team. Petrusev was on that team, who a lot of people don't like in the Gonzaga community. I think he was insanely good. I think he's one of the best big guys to have played a season at Gonzaga. Is he a favorite big guy? No, but talent-wise, he was insane. That team was so freaking good. It was Josh Perkins on that team, and now I'm just making stuff up. Was John Stockton on that team, the COVID year team? I think so. I think that John Stockton, Richie Fromm, Nigel Williams-Goss, Petrusev, Sabonis, Chet Holmgren. I think that was the team, 2020. They were going to win the whole thing. And Killian Tilly. They were going to win the whole thing. So Mark Few wins. He goes to the tournament every single year. This is the craziest fact. He's never missed one. People are complaining about him, and I'm thinking, No one else has done it. You're complaining about something no one else has done. Gonzaga fans were crazy for a minute there. And now I think they've kind of realized what it is that's going on there and what they've got, and that Coach View's the man, and that not a lot of people are at this caliber. And it's why the guy's in the Hall of Fame and still coaching, because you couldn't deny it any longer. It's like, oh, yeah, this is the best. It's one of the 5 best college basketball coaches ever. This is one of the 5 best college basketball coaches of all time. Okay, it's just, I'm sorry, but the numbers are there. Where he did it is there. How he did it is there. He's whether you want to, you could come at me and you're going to be like, well, here's 5 coaches better than him. Nah, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'll give you 4. Like, you can give me 4 other coaches that are in the top 5 without like ranking them, but you're not going to give me 5. That's just, you're going to start to be the guy who's like, I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to bend rules, and I'm going to make things up. Fewey's insanely good. So I loved that he got in there. The pictures this weekend were amazing. My buddy Barrett and his wife Monica apparently are trying to make it on TV or movies. They posted a bunch of pictures and they look like TV stars, movie stars. What happened there? At one point in time, Barrett and Monica had me over for dinner. I don't know that you get that anymore. I think you have to pass through security to hang out with the celebs like that. But it's good seeing all the former Gonzaga guys who showed up to support Fewey as he got inducted. It's just so cool. Such an awesome weekend as a Gonzaga basketball fan to get to see all this and hear Coach Few's speech. I think Coach Few's speech was awesome, and him talking about, look, the big thing was happiness, and that he learned it from his dad, Norman, who's one of the greatest Jay and Kevin show guests I ever got to talk to, because Norm would show up to when we were in Vegas and in the NCAA tournament sites, and he would just show up and walk down and get his coffee, and he'd be walking around in the lobby, and he'd see us, and he'd come grab the microphone and just chit-chat for a while, and he was always so funny. But the man was just joy. Norm Few was just like, he was just a joyful man. And I thought it was great. Coach Few mentioned him and brought him up and was like, look, my dad stayed at the same little podunk church in Oregon forever, and I'm sure the opportunity for him to go somewhere else was there, but he was happy there, and so you just nurture that happiness. Gary, like, it's great. And that I just Coach Few's speech was great. I love the guy. Yeah, he put up with me as he had to hate. He might still hate my guts. Coach Few might still hate my guts, because I guarantee you, when I was sports radio, I'm gonna be Stephen A. Smith. I'm gonna be in your face. I guarantee I said things in my mid-20s about Coach Few that were ridiculously wild. And I was probably one of those people like, you can't win the big one. I'm sure I said it at some point when I was young and stupid and dumb. Then I grew up a little bit and was like, oh yeah, this would be the dumbest guy to go against. He's just, and you meet him and talk to him, and he was always so nice to me, whether he didn't like me or not. And I think our relationship got way better as I got older, and he realized you're not just an idiot anymore. And so that was great. And I really appreciated the guy. He was always very charitable at our food drive. This is like those behind the scene things that he doesn't make a big deal of. We didn't make a big deal of, but he always gave some very big donations at the end of the food drive that we wouldn't really talk about on the radio. We'd say like, Coach Few came by and made a great donation, and they were like bigger than they should have been. He's just the man. And he never wanted to make us, it's like, don't worry about it, guys. We're like, well, we're going to tell people you came by. And he's like, now, guys, fellas, Slim, you got to figure this out. You got get your life together. And he was always great. I always loved, he was the best. He's the best. So that was cool. It was a cool weekend. I highly recommend going and watching his Hall of Fame speech. And then I'd highly recommend going and finding Barrett's pictures on Instagram of him and his wife looking like movie stars. I mean, Coxie and his wife also, what's going on there? More Sarah than Josh. It was like, my friends are posting on Instagram looking like movie stars. The only one that I feel like looked like still my buddy was Josh, but he even looked like a movie star. And I was sitting on the couch in sweatpants with Cheeto stains on my shirt. Huck and I were sitting there with Cheeto stained shirts in our sweatpants in the basement, watching like knockoff Lightning McQueen videos on the internet. I don't know. Different trajectories. Okay, I wanted to talk about this real quick, and I should just call my buddy John Johnny Drez, because he's going to have the answer to this. Are Cutco knives, first of all, are Cutco knives still a thing? Remember Cutco knives? Cutco knives, you get the guy who'd show up to your house and a wild thing. You'd get a guy who just showed up to your house and ring the doorbell, and they're like, your parents would open the door to a complete stranger, and he'd like, here's knives. Hey, excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. May I enter your house with a bunch of knives? Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Let me tell my little kids to just like leave us alone for a second. Let me tell my little kids that there's a man with a bunch of knives at the front door, and he's going to just come into the house and hang out for a bit. Yeah, come on in, dude. Oh, you say they're the sharpest knives ever and they could cut through human bone? No, come on in. Hey, little kids, go play in your bedroom or something. This guy we've never met before, we're just going to have him come in with these knives and show them to us. Cutco knives were wild. It's a wild thing. But I remember them being awesome. And the reason I bring this up, and the reason I bring up one of my very best friends, John Dresbach, by name, is that he probably knows the answer. I got to figure out kitchen knives. We got a set of knives for our wedding. Not John and I. I wish. I think John and I probably would have put knives on our registry had we got married. I'm assuming if John and I had got married, our registry would have been cool pens, skateboard stuff, golf stuff, a lot of knives. Johnny probably would have put some guns on there, and then Seahawks stuff. And that would have been our wedding registry. But my wife and I got knives for our wedding, and they're fine. They're great knives, but we've had them now for 10 years, and they are dull as all get out. I can take the big sharp one and put it against an apple, and the apple wins every single time. I'm like, I'm pushing as hard as I can. It doesn't matter if I'm using the thick flat side or the side that's supposed to be sharp. They're just not doing anything. So I got to figure out my knife game in the kitchen, whether it's how to sharpen the ones I have or get ones that are really good. And the reason I bring up John, I guarantee you, John and I go through the same thing where we get fixated on the weirdest thing. I mentioned pens. Like John got crazy into pens for a while and had the coolest pen collection, but he gets into it and he does the research and he's like way into it. And I know Johnny has had to get into kitchen knives at some point, probably has bought every single kitchen knife that's been advertised on Instagram. Has probably done the research online for like, here's the greatest one to order. But I just know I could use that guy who shows up to my house right now with a bunch of knives and says, hey, can I come into your house where you're protecting your wife and kids? And all I'm going to do is come in here with a bunch of knives that are super sharp. I need that guy. Are Cutco knives still a thing? I need some kitchen knife recommendations for either ones to get or how to bring your kitchen knives that you got as a wedding gift back to life. Because on our kitchen knives display, the thing the kitchen knives go in, there's a slot that I think is to sharpen a kitchen knife, but I don't think anyone's ever used that thing successfully. I don't even know why that's on there. I don't think anyone has been like, oh, there's the slot for to sharpen the kitchen knives. And then they put their kitchen knife in there and I don't know, you just put it in and out of there a couple times and then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I could cut through the refrigerator. I don't know if it works like that. All right, Johnny, if you still listen to the podcast and you know about kitchen knives, I need you. Jordan, it's the cousins. I need Jordan and John, the cousins. I need my knife guys to be my knife guys for a second. What are the good kitchen knives? And not throwing knives, because I also guarantee you that both Jordan and John found sick throwing knives and told their wives they got them for the kitchen, and the wall in their kitchen has a lot of marks on it from where they threw them. Guarantee that happened. All right. I got to get out of here. I got to go research knives. Well, I'm not. I'm going to wait for John to get back to me. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.